Okay, here we are in part 5 of section 9.1. So we're back to applications again, everybody's favorite. So a guitar factory has a cost of production, C of X equals 75X plus 50,000. If the company needs to break even after 150 units are sold, what price should they sell each guitar for? Round up to the nearest dollar and write the revenue function. Well, what is revenue? Well, if you think about it, uh, rev, uh, revenue is going to be equal basically to your price times the number of units sold, number sold. Okay, so that's revenue. That's how you make money. Price times number sold. All right, so we have a cost function, and when we have a break even, we have to think about what does break even mean? Well, that means our cost is equal to our revenue. In this case, it's going to be equal to 0. So 0 equals 0. Okay, and or not 0, but I mean they're going to basically balance each other out, and so you could think about it as that. But that's what we have. Cost is equal to revenue, and so we're going to plug in 150 for C, or for X rather. So C of 150 equals 75 times 150 plus 50,000. Okay. Now, we have to multiply that out and get our value. Now, I'm not going to do that one on paper. I'm just going to go over here to our calculator here, and let's clear that out. So we had 150 times our 75 plus our 50, 3,000. And so 61,250 is what that value is. And so this is what our cost is going to be equal to. So that means that's what our revenue is equal to. So, I just said 0 equals 0 just for an example where they're equal, but our cost is going to be equal to that. And we want to know basically now what that is. And so now we're saying the revenue is going to be equal to that at that 150 units. And so if the revenue is 61,250, we knew that's price times the number of sold. Well, price we do not know. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for price. But we know how many were sold. We said we sold 150, so we're taking price times 150. So now we divide both sides by 150. And so then the price is equal to what? Well, now we have to go back over here and divide that by 150. And so 408.333, and if we round to the nearest dollar, the price is going to be 408. Okay, so that's the price rounded to the nearest dollar. And then we have to write the revenue function. So the revenue function is going to be some R of X, kind of like we had C of X here. Now we're going to have R of X. And it's just going to be our price, 408, which we just found here. So that was the first thing we had to find, times what? Well, times X. So depending on how many we sell is going to be our revenue function. Okay, so the break-even point we found was it's going to equal 61,250 at 150. But what if we sold, 200? Then what would it be? Then you'd find your revenue from there. Okay, and so that would be how we get this one. And so we have our price and we have our revenue function written out, and that's what they're asking for on this problem. All right, so the next one says a concert manager counted 350 ticket receipts the day after a concert. So the total tickets they sold was 350. Now the price for a student ticket was $12.50 and the price for an adult ticket was $16. The register confirmed that $5,075 was taken in. How many student tickets and how many adult tickets were sold? Well, here we have to set up two equations with two unknowns. So if we say X is equal to, say, student tickets, and Y is equal to adult tickets, now we can write two equations. Well, we know the total tickets was X plus Y is equal to 350 because they said their total tickets sold was 350. Now if we take the price times each ticket and add them together, we can get the total. So now if we take 12.5, and I'm going to drop the 0 and the dollar sign, so 12.5x plus 16y equals 5075, then we should be able to solve for x and solve for y. Now, what do I want to do? I can multiply this one by 12.5 and this one by 16 or whatever, but I think I'm just going to do a substitution again. So if I solve for x, that gives me a negative y plus 350. So I'm just subtracting y from both sides to get x, and then I'm going to take this part here, and I'm going to plug in to here. Now I still have to take 350 times that, but now it's at least in one equation. I don't have to do a lot of multiplication. So I'll have 12.5 times negative y plus 350, and then plus 16y equals 5075. And so now I distribute here. So negative 12.5y plus now 12.5 times 350, 12.5 times 350 is 4375 plus 16y equals 5075. All right, so now I have common things here I can do, so I'll subtract 4375. And so I'll have 16. Now if we go ahead and write this, 16.0 minus 12.5. So that's going to be a 5. So we're going to have a 5 point, and that's 3.5y. And so this one's going to go 0, 0, and that's going to be 7 divided by 3.5. And so y is equal to, now 3.5, I'm going to have to move the decimal over 1 and add another one here. So 35 into 7,000, so that's going to be 200. So that'll be 200. Y is adult tickets. And so X then is going to be 350 minus 200, so 150 student tickets. Okay. And so those are the two items they're asking for. And then the only other thing to do would be to check. And so what we need to do is then take each of them and multiply by their respective values to see if it adds up, because we know if we do the first check, x plus y, that equals 350. So now we just have to do the second check. And so we'll take the 12.5 times the 150 plus 200 times 16, and we get 5075, which is what we were supposed to get. So those both check out. Okay. All right, so I'm done with part 5. Now I'll come back here in a little bit with part 6.